Hello everyone. In this video, I will be discussing to you the first lessons in data management. So why having knowledge about statistics is very important? Because every day, we are dealing with the output from the knowledge of statistics. That's why having basic knowledge about statistics is very important. Especially now that we are living in a world na kung saan ang dami ng fake news. So ngayon, kapag meron kang knowledge sa statistics, you can intelligently react about the information na naririnig mo, nakikita mo, ayan, o kaya napapanood mo sa television. So before we proceed about that, let's take a look, kailan ba nagsimula ang statistics? Or kailan ba nag-start na ginagamit na ang statistics? So in here, in our first slide, it says that the processing of statistical information has a history that extends back to the beginning of mankind. So hindi lang sa generation natin na ginagamit ang statistics. Because even in the early biblical times, nations already compiled statistical data to provide descriptive information relative to all sort of things, whether it be about taxes, it could be about the crops they planted, or even about wars. And then later on, even in athletic events, yan, they are using statistics to describe this information. Today, with the development of probability theory, we are able to use statistical methods that not only describe important features of data, but also methods that allow us to proceed beyond the collected data. So before, ginagamit nilang statistics just to describe the information that they gathered or the data that they have collected. But now, having probability theory or knowledge about probability theory, we can already go beyond that. Okay? We can proceed beyond the collected data into the area of decision making through generalizations and predictions. Just like, for example, in predicting the number of typhoons that will come across the Philippine area of responsibility, actually is an output of statistics. Paano nila ginagawa to? Yan. Paano nila na-predict that there will be 20 typhoons, yan, ang pupunta, okay, sa Philippine area of responsibility in this certain year. Yan. So, paano nila nalalaman yon? The people, okay, or the staff from Pag-asa will consolidate the number of typhoons that came across the Philippine area of responsibility from the previous years. Yan. And with this information that they had, okay, or the data that they had, they can already predict the average number of typhoons for a specific year. And although sometimes it is not that accurate, yan, due to some errors, but still, the prediction will always be closer to reality. Another example, okay, about having life insurance. If you are selling life insurance packages, yan, kasi syempre may mga iba't ibang package din naman yan kung ikaw ay nagbebenta ng life insurance. Kapag meron kang mga prospect clients, yan, you can use statistics upang nang sa ganun, mas maengganyo mo sila na sumali sa insurance company mo. Yan. I am very happy with this presentation I do not know if what company is this, pero ginamitan niya kasi ito ng statistics. Yan. Let's take a look. Sabi niya, dun sa first phrase niya, don't let an unforeseen event or life event be the trigger to get life insurance. Ito kasi tayo, di ba madalas, yung mga may sasakyan, mas insured pa, okay? Or mas may insurance pa yung sasakyan kaysa yung tao. Kaya nga lagi kong sinasabi sa office mate ko, o yan, buti pa yung sasakyan mo insured, ikaw hindi. Although hindi ako nagbebenta ng insurance, pero ayun nga, minsan saka lang natin marirealize yung importance, okay, ng life insurance kapag meron nang nangyaring hindi maganda sa atin. Sabi nga niya dito, 9 of 10 causes of death in the Philippines are caused by serious illness. And this presentation, okay, is an output of statistics. Ma'am, paano nila nalaman na 9 out of 10 na cause ng death dito sa Pilipinas is because of serious illness? Okay? They gathered information from the Department of Health. Or even in the hospitals, right? Pag may mga namatay, yan. Pwede na nilang itanong kung anong ikinamatay. Yan. Di ba malalaman nila kung ano ang ikinamatay niya? Okay, it could be because of accident or serious illness, pneumonia, ano pa ba, heart attack, high blood, ayan. So, in the Philippines, sabi dito sa statistics na to, sa information na to, it says that 9 out of 10 na sanhi ng pagkamatay ng mga Pilipino ay dahil sa matinding sakit because of serious illness. Aside from that, another presentation here, which is an output of statistics, is only 32.6% of Filipino households have savings. And this one, are you part of that 32.6% of the Filipino household? Or isa ka dun sa may less than or more or less 68% na walang insurance? I mean walang savings. Yan. If you are part of that statistics na walang savings, ngayon, paano kapag nagkasakit ka? Saan ka kukuha ngayon ng panggastos mo? 'Di ba? Kung ma-hospital ka, for example, saan ka ngayon kukuha ng pang-hospital mo kung wala kang savings? That's why, sabi na ngayon dito, having insurance is very important. Kung afford mo ang milk tea na cost 120 pesos per day, why can't you afford a life insurance that cost 100 pesos only? And take note meron pang mas mababa sa 100 pesos. I think 59 pesos yung nakita ko lately na life insurance. 59 pesos per day. Oh, not bad. So, having this presentation, actually, is ginamitan niya ng statistics. So, that's why having knowledge about statistics is very important. Yan. Aside from that, meron pa tayong mga examples dito. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend Dentine. Yan. Ano pa? We have almost 85% of lung cancers in men and 45% in women are tobacco-related. So, lahat ng mga claims na nandito ngayon sa presentation natin are statistical in character. Lahat ng to is output ng statistic. In the study of statistics, we are basically concerned with presentation and interpretation kasi of the chance of outcomes that occur in a planned or scientific investigation. Hence, having knowledge with basic statistic is very important. Yan lagi kong sinasabi that having knowledge about statistics is very important. Bakit nga ba napakahalaga ng statistics? Because statistics provides tools that you need in order to react intelligently. Gaya nga ng sinabi natin kanina, ang dami ng fake news na nababasa natin. So, if you have no knowledge na kung yung mag-fact check ka, kung totoo ba yung information na to o hindi, kung hindi ka marunong na kumuha ng mga information related to that, okay, sa nabasa mo na yan, instead sana na masusuppress yung fake news na yun, mas lalala pa, lalo na kapag shinare mo siya. Ay, mali pala yung information na yun, ba't mo pa shinare? Parang ganon. Kaya napakahalaga na every now and then na meron kang mababasa, mag-source out ka muna ng mga other or related na mga news or information tungkol dun sa may nabasa mo. Para nang sa ganun, hindi ikaw yung mag-spread ng fake news, but rather, you should be one of those who are correcting yung fake news na information na yun. Yan. So, it provides us tool that you need in order to react intelligently to information you hear or read. So, that is statistics. Aside from that, statistics can be applied in any area, okay, or in any profession. It could be in psychology, it could be about health, law, sports, business, and madalas ginagamit ang statistics. Whether it be in describing the information or even extracting information from the data that they have collected, or kung ikaw yung nag-conduct, you have collected. Okay? Also, statistics are often presented in an effect to add credibility to an argument or advice. Kaya napakahalaga talaga that we have basic knowledge about statistics. In statistics, we shall refer to any recording of information, whether it be numerical or categorical, as an observation. Yan. Yan yung mga recording of information. Ang tawag natin doon is observation. Statistical methods are those procedures used in collection. Ano ba yung mga statistical methods natin? Collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. And we can categorize these methods as belonging to one of the two major areas of statistics that called descriptive statistics and statistical inference. Now, first let us consider the field of descriptive statistics. When we say descriptive statistics, this comprises those methods concerned with collecting and describing a set of data so as to yield a meaningful information. So let it clearly understood that descriptive statistics provides information only. And there's no way that you can draw inferences or conclusions concerning a larger set of data. Kung ano yung data na available ka, yun lang yung i-describe mo. Ngayon, hindi ka na ngayon makakapag-extract doon ng inferences. Okay? So, the construction of tables, charts, graphs, and other relevant computations in various newspaper and magazines usually fall in the area categorized as descriptive statistics. Let's take a look at this example. Yan. So, dito, itong example na to, this is an example of descriptive statistics. I-describe lang niya yung annual change in forest area by country from 2005 to 2010. So, the data collected is from 2005 to 2010. Now, they are just going to describe yung changes ng forest area. So, yun lang. Ganun lang siya. De-describe lang. Okay. So, from 2005 to 2010, noong 2005, there are 100 hectares of virgin forest in the Philippines. But now, in 2010, there are only remaining 50 hectares of virgin forest in the Philippines. So, yun lang. De-describe mo lang siya. So, wala nang susunod doon. Yun na yun. Na-describe mo na siya. Okay. Now, let's take a look about statistical inference. Kapag statistical inference naman, ano naman to? So, this comprises those methods concerned naman siya with the analysis of a subset of data leading to predictions or inferences about the entire set of data. Okay? So, the generalizations associated with statistical inferences are always subject to uncertainties. Bakit? Because we are dealing only with partial information obtained from a subset of data of interest. To cope with the uncertainties, an understanding of probabilities theory is essential. Ayan, kaya we are going to have basic knowledge about probability later on dun sa may latter part ng mga presentations natin. So in this lesson, we will be discussing some sort of ideas wherein we could use our knowledge from this in all areas of learning may benefit. So the basic techniques for collecting and analyzing data are the same no matter what the field of application may be. That's why, if you are conducting a research, napaka-importante na meron kang statistician. From the start na nag-conceptualize ka ng study up to the end. Okay? Or up to matapos yung study mo. Because the role of a statistician is very important. Okay? Take note that statistics is a very powerful tool if and only if properly used. Pero may mga researcher din that they abuse, okay, the use of statistics. And kapag ganun yung nangyari, if you abuse the use of statistical procedures, it will lead to erroneous results. So, it is very important that one should be careful to apply the correct and most efficient procedure for the given conditions to obtain the maximum information from the data available. Or else, yung study mo, error. Okay? Instead sana na it will give benefit to the readers, it will give benefit to the end user, baka ito pa yung mag-cause ng problem. So instead na solution siya, baka magiging problem pa siya. That's why it's very important that if you are going to present an information, dapat it should be true. Ayan. At the error should be minimized. At hindi ka dapat bias sa pagprepresent mo ng information na nag-gather mo. Kung yung result ng study mo is not like what you have expected. Kasi syempre kapag researcher ka, meron ka na kasing yung tinatag na hypothesis, yan, na parang ito na yung nakikita mo or na foresee mo kung ano yung kakalabasan niya. Yan. Pero dapat huwag kang bias na researcher na dapat na i-align mo sa kung ano yung gusto mong magiging output niya. Kundi, you need to consider all the data that you have gathered na at the end pala of your at the end of the gathering of data and analysis of data pala is hindi pala gaya ng ina-expect mo. So that's why it's very important that all the information, all the data that you analyze, it should be presented with honesty, yan. At saka dapat with yung totoo dapat. Okay? Let's proceed. So, before we begin gathering and analyzing data, we need to we need to characterize them. Okay? Or we need to characterize the population we are studying. Ano nga bang population? When we say population, that is the group the collected data is intended to describe. So, yun yung population, kabuuan. Sometimes, the intended population is called the target population. Since if we design our study badly, the collected data might not actually be representative of the intended population. So, the totality of observations with which we are concerned, whether their number be finite or infinite, constitute to what we call a population. And so, population. It consists the totality of the observations with which we are concerned. Example. A newspaper website contains a poll asking people their opinion on a recent news article. In this example, what is the population? Answer? Yan. While the target population may have been all people, the real population of the survey is the readers of the website. Kasi paano kapag yung hindi naman pala hindi naman lahat ng tao binabasa yung newspaper na yun, di ba? That's why the real population for this example is or are the readers of the website. On the other hand, since surveying the entire population is impractical, syempre naman, di ba, lalo na kapag buong Pilipinas, yung population na kailangan mo, alangan i-interview mo yung buong population ng Pilipinas, yung 108 million population of the Philippines, it's impractical. And paano nga ba tayo makakapag-conduct ngayon ng study kapag sobrang malaki ang population natin? Diyan na ngayon papasok yung sample na tinatawag natin. So, we are going to select sample from the intended population. Ano nga bang sinasabi natin na sample? So, when we say sample, that is the smaller subset of the entire population. Ideally, one that is fairly representative of the whole population. So, you should be careful in selecting your samples. Why? Let's take a look at this example. A researcher wanted to know how citizens of Echage felt about a voter initiative. To study this, she goes to the Echage Save More store and randomly selects 500 shoppers and asks them their opinion. 60% indicate they are supportive of the initiative. What is the sample and population in this example? Answer? Yan. The sample is the 500 shoppers question. And the population is, syempre hindi ganong clear kung yung intended population ba ay yung Echage citizens, yan, or yung mga nasa loob lang ng shopper, or yung nasa loob lang ng SM store. Yan. There's no reason to assume that 500 shoppers questioned would be representative of all Echage citizens. Okay, ang population natin syempre yung mga yung Echage citizen na voter. Okay? Sila yung intended population natin. Sila yung mga target population dapat natin. But, if we go to Save More, yan, dun sa Save More store, tapos randomly selects shoppers, yung 500 shoppers, tapos tinanong natin sila, there's no way na sila ay mga sample nga ng intended population natin, because there is a tendency that the shopper being asked is not from Echage, especially that ISU is located in Echage, and then most of the students bumibili sila sa Save More. And what if, okay, that certain student na natanong is not from Echage? Okay? So, hindi na siya ang tawag dito, hindi na siya representative ng Echage citizens or ng mga voter ng Echage. Kasi nga hindi naman siya taga Echage, hindi naman siya bumuboto dito sa Echage. So ano na ngayon ang mangyayari doon? Syempre magkakaroon na ngayon ng bias or magkakaroon na ngayon ng error dun sa study mo. That's why it's very important to know kung ano din yung sampling method na gagamitin mo, upang nang sa ganun, ma-minimize yung bias at ma-minimize yung error ng study mo. Okay? So, we will be discussing in the next video yung difference between statistic and parameter, as well as the different sampling methods. So, that ends our first topic in data management. Thank you for watching this video.